Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of OverVoice Season 3. Today I'm joined by the lovely Sena Bryer. Sena, would you like to introduce yourself, my friend?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi. My name's Sena Bryer. I'm a voice actor, writer, and game developer in Los Angeles. Probably best known from most people as the voice of Wuklamot in Final Fantasy XIV. I've also been in I'm in the movie Inuo. I was in a Need for Speed game, and I voiced like 10,000 Hearthstone cards.
Oh, that's awesome.
Um, yeah, those are some fun sessions.
Hell yeah.
Go in, do goofy stuff you won't be able to do anywhere else, and then leave. But
Hell yeah.
I also have a background of I've been in a lot of audio dramas. I started my own back in 2020 called Dreambound. And yeah, I just other than that, I play way too many video games. I don't
Oh, me too.
know.
Yeah, you've got the curse. It's all right. It's the
Yeah,
curse we
yeah.
all must bear.
And it's like rarely even new video games. Like the same. I just play the same five ones over and over again.
Honestly, that you're so real for that.
It's
I
like I just message my brother like, "Hey, you want to play another Risk of Rain 2?" It's like, "Yeah, sure, why
yeah.
not?"
Or it's like you want to play like this Lego game from like 2005 or something.
I know, right?
But yeah, Sena, my first question to you is,
Yeah.
how'd you get into voice acting, and what's your journey been like so far?
Whew. So it's something I wanted to do like ever since I was a kid. Um, when I found out that that wasn't there was a person giving a voice to Yakko Warner and Rocco and all that. Um, and I don't know, even as like a kid, I would break into like silly weird voice like cartoon voices and whatnot. Um, then later on when I was in like I discovered like I remember some of the games like Baldur's Gate 2, um, and I think Baldur's Gate 2 is the one big one. And Final Fantasy 12 a little later on after that made me really realize, oh shit, this is actually like this is acting. This is and it's about the same time. Little later than that, I went into college and I was like, well, I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna try to be. I want to be a voice actor, maybe on camera actor too, but I think I'd be better as a voice actor. So I started degree in theater arts, taking acting classes, all that sort of stuff. Did a little Shakespeare. Um, Unfortunately, this was also like the years leading up to me coming out as trans.
Oh yeah.
Um, and at the time, I saw like I've had my finger on the pulse of the industry for decades and decades now, despite only really professionally starting rather recently. And like I saw the things that happened to like Maddie Blaustein, my role model and idol for all my life, and other actors, and kind of had a moment of I can either be trans or I can be a voice actor. I don't think I can be both. And I mean, I had to choose trans over that, so I came out. I set the voice acting aside. I switched my degree to English because I love writing. I've been writing, just as long ever since I was a kid. Um, Ended up graduating with that. Excuse me.
No, you're
Uh,
all good.
but never kind of never entirely gave up the dream. Um, when I left college, I tried like everything under the sun before got to voice acting. Like I originally wanted to do like jet program, teaching English overseas, that kind of stuff.
Nice.
That didn't work out. Um, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna try writing. I self-published some books. I took on a couple freelance video game writing jobs, and it like kind of worked, but not really. A lot of location stuff. Um, During that time, I moved to LA. Not to become a voice actor, but it was in the back of my brain. I moved to LA to mostly to get human rights, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Um, but also, I was in a relationship with a long distance relationship with someone who was out here, and I finally
Mm,
made that along with a bunch of other reasons. Decided,
nice.
hey, I'm gonna move out to LA. I don't regret it one bit, despite
Mm.
all the hard times I've had since then. Um, but it was the writing thing out here didn't pan out, so I thought, you know what? I'm in the city. I've got some money because I just sold. I worked for Starbucks for years, and they just give you stocks every year as long as you have
Oh,
enough
that's
hours. So
cool. I didn't know
I
that.
sold.
That's awesome.
The benefits are nice. It's a kind of a garbage corporation, but the benefits are nice.
Oh yeah,
As far as American companies go, that is.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I sold that. I sold the money from the stocks and used the money to get an 8-week class once a week over the summer here in LA, and it just kind of all triggered from that. I met my first agent through there.
Mm,
Met my first people in the industry, and pretty much everyone I know in the industry, I can trace it back to that class.
nice.
It all just, and then from there, just kind of like slowly climbed my way up the ladder. I was lucky in that I got my first agent like very soon after that class because it was the teacher's agent, um, and I think I was probably a diversity hire, but hey, it's better than nothing.
I guess yeah.
Um, I mean, he's like, if that or nothing, hell yeah, sign me up. But I didn't like immediately, book like an anime lead or whatever. Like I slowly climbed my way up. I auditioned for stuff on Twitter. I did a lot of audio dramas, indie animations, indie video games, stuff like that. Auditioning for audiobooks off ACX and Audible and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And just slowly, like inch by inch, got my way up to where I am now. It was the pandemic was really rough because I was made some good strides in like 2019. Like I was auditioning and getting callbacks for like AAA games and like
Nice.
movies and Nickelodeon shows and stuff like that. But then the pandemic hit and it was like, well, I work at Starbucks. I can't afford to drop thousands on a whisper room all of a sudden. So whoops. It was it was amazing for remote work. It wasn't so great for poor people, but
yeah.
that's a topic for another day. And then as the pandemic, I won't say end because it hasn't ended, we're still in it, has wound down from its height. I got back into it. I got my new agency. I got SAG. I joined SAG. I quit Starbucks and all that stuff, and eventually started booking bigger stuff.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, that's quite the journey, honestly.
It is. That's when you said the journey. I'm like, whew, all right, buckle in, kids.
Because you moved to LA. Where did you where were you from originally?
I grew up most of my life in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Which is for the international. That's along the Ohio River, right at the border between the Midwest and the South.
Mm.
I also spent a good portion of my childhood in Tampa Bay in Florida.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So both Ohio and Florida. I hear a lot about those two specifically.
Well, not the Ohio River, not the state Ohio.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. The state is Kentucky.
Mm.
Florida, yeah, you don't hear much good about these days anymore.
I just hear about the Gators. I don't really hear about anything else.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely there. We're definitely. I never actually saw an alligator living there, but I lived in the city, so.
Not true. But yeah, I gotta ask. Originally being from Kentucky, I gotta ask: is the KFC over there good?
Oh, I knew it was gonna be KFC. So, no.
Damn
People
it.
from Kentucky don't go to KFC. You go there. You don't go there for the chicken. If you're gonna go there, you get like the potato wedges or like the mashed potatoes or the biscuits. You go there for the sides. You don't go there for the chicken. If you don't want chicken, we got so many local places I can take you to. I got a place over on Brownsboro Road. I don't know if they're still there, called Lee's. You can still get like chicken livers and gizzards and like the real stuff.
Okay, that's some good
And
stuff.
there's a place called Indies is pretty good. Raising Cane's recently came over to California, and all the people who aren't in the South are going crazy over it. I went to it once, and I'm like, that's all right. The sauce is good, I guess. It's all right. I don't know. I'm picky about... That's where my Southern shows up. It doesn't show up all the time, but I'm picky about my fried chicken.
That's fair enough.
The best fried chicken I ever had in my life actually was in San Francisco, which makes no sense whatsoever.
Interesting. I wouldn't have guessed San Francisco.
I wouldn't have guessed either, but I was just like in my hotel room at GDC, like, yeah, I'll DoorDash some fried chicken, why not? And I got it, and I'm like, why is this so good?
It's the ones you least expect where they're just the
I know,
treasure.
right?
Yeah. I ended up going to like this new chicken place that ended up opening around I forget what the
Mm-hmm.
name of the place is called, but that's where I tried biscuits for the first time because your version of
Like
biscuits
American biscuits, not
yeah. Yeah,
like British biscuits. Yeah,
yeah, because I'm used to British biscuits being like cookies, so
cookies.
like
Yeah.
I ended up going over there getting some biscuits, assuming that okay, cool, they're gonna get some cookies, nice, might as well try it. But no, I was really wrong. I was so wrong. Like I was like, I saw it for the first time. I was like, okay, it's a bit of a big one. All right, but all right, fair enough. I guess I'm getting a bargain there. But I took a bit into it. I was like, oh, this is just bread. Okay, all
Well,
right,
yeah. I mean, this is bread. You got to put like butter in there and maybe some
yeah,
gravy or something. Yeah.
yeah. So
Hopefully,
now
it wasn't super dry.
I didn't get any gravy. I just had it by itself because I assumed it was just like a cookie. So
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so like, I get why Limp Biscuit is called Limp Biscuit. I know what the biscuit is now. It's a fucking piece of bread. It took me so long to realize that, but Jesus, because I always thought it was like cookie, like because I assume biscuits with cookies,
Yeah, yeah,
because that's how
yeah.
I grew up with. So like, oh okay,
That's
this is
like
what the meaning is.
it's like
Yeah,
to ask for water in Germany or European countries, you only get sparkling water.
yeah.
One of those things.
Sparkling water is okay. I just wouldn't go for it all the time. I know like it used to be like a whole trend in 2022 like, oh, get sparkling water if you're rich. I'm like, I don't care. Sparkling water tastes
I
like
don't
shit. I
like.
hate it.
Yeah, I never liked it. I never liked
It's just a shittier version of Sprite. If yeah, somehow flavorless. It's bad. I don't like it. I'll take regular tap water, literally any other
it.
water. Water from the lake. I'll take water from the lake than sparkling water. But water from the lake actually bangs. And like in New Zealand, like drinking water from the lake won't get you killed. So like you can actually do that.
I do
um,
imagine there's some pretty fresh water.
yeah. Most of the time, it depends where you go. They're like
Depends on where you go. Yeah,
yeah. If you're going like I don't
like in a
know.
canal in Auckland, they're probably be like, yeah, maybe not.
Oh, in Oakland, hell no, absolutely
No, I'm
not.
like, no, maybe not.
No, if you want like I don't know, if you want like oil and shit in your water, then sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But probably not, just to be safe. But yeah, you mentioned you were a writer as well, and also a game dev. So
hmm
were you game deving and writing before voice acting as well?
Um, professional, I guess. Yeah, technically, professionally, yeah. Um, uh, like when I was a kid, the first time I wrote something, I was like a kid, and it was like elementary school, which would be like age 8 to 9. And it was like the teacher had like little hardcover books with like 20 pages on it and told us
Mm.
to write a book, and I
Oh,
just wrote a
nice.
book, and then I was like, can I have another one? And just carried that through my whole life.
Nice.
Yeah, the first time I like, and then I'd like write, like stuff that never went anywhere, and I wrote fan fiction and whatnot. And then it would have been like 2013, 2014 ish. I self published my first book,
Mm.
which it's not bad, but it's like it's kind of like yeah, okay, yeah, I'm fine if that disappears forever.
Nah, that's fair enough.
Um,
But like, if the first work's usually like, you never know. But
yeah, I mean it's my first that I actually because that was about the same time that Amazon first did their paperback self-publishing
oh right, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
as opposed to just Kindle. I was like, oh shit, I can do paperback now. Hell yeah, let's do that.
Nice.
Um, then in and also like game dev, I always wanted to make a video game since I was young, and the teachers would be like, why don't you just say you want to be an astronaut? What game developer? What is that? Um, and like I would make like games in RPG Maker and
Yeah,
whatnot. Yeah, 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 yeah. Real ones, no. Um, the
that's a
unfinished
throwback.
RPG Maker folders, unfinished games. Uh, and then would have been 2016, 2017. I was a contract writer on an indie game, unfortunately named, but really good, I promise, called Your Royal Gayness, about a closeted gay prince who has to run his kingdom while his family is on vacation, and also avoid princesses who want to marry him.
That's a really interesting concept.
It's a
I
great concept. I do wish they had named it something else, so I wouldn't feel so awkward putting it in like cover letters or
oh yeah,
portfolios. Um, but yeah, and now just like almost exactly 2 years ago, started working at Akupara Games. We're an indie
Yeah.
publisher. We since I've been there, we published. I've been on the team that published Cryptmaster,
Mm,
and the team that published Hello Cruel World, which I was the lead writer for that as well.
nice. Yeah.
It just came out a week ago.
Yeah, it's right. I saw a lot of voice actors posting their announcements about that. Looks really interesting.
Yeah, we let them do it like a week or two early. We're like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
So one voice actor asked, I was like, hey, I see. Am I allowed to ask yet? And I was like, I don't know. Let me just ask marketing. Marketing was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I was like, okay, cool.
Not
Go
fair
ahead,
enough. It do be
have
like
fun.
that. I mean, it's good them for asking permission though, because you never really know. You don't want to accidentally leak it and then
Yeah.
get struck down forever and be blacklisted. So that's a good
Oh
for
yeah, yeah,
asking.
yeah. Definitely, definitely, definitely. That I've I've had that happen where I actually with Final Fantasy 14, there was just a miscommunication somewhere about when I could announce.
Mm,
So I announced it, and then they were like, there was a miscommunication. Sorry, you actually have to delete that. I was like, okay, sure. And I
okay,
deleted it, and then just pretended like it didn't happen for a week, and then announced it. And it's like, it
not
just
fair.
happens.
How long was it up for before you deleted it? Like a few seconds, few
Like a
minutes?
day.
Oh wow.
So it was
Okay.
already, yeah, no, it was already there. It had like 25,000 likes. Everybody
Whew.
already knew, but it was like,
Okay. Yeah.
whatever.
Not fair enough. But I mean, you guys went down to later on. That's pretty cool. Also, just being a part of Final Fantasy, that's really cool. I don't know if I don't know if I
I'm
congratulated you.
still
I don't know if I
reeling from it.
Yeah, I don't know if I congratulated you publicly. I might have, but dude, congratulations. You did that. You did so well. You did so well.
Thank you. I was holding it in for so long. It was torture.
Yeah, like
My voice
how
was
many
in the trailer for like 6 months, and thankfully, only my sister recognized it.
Oh, fair enough.
Nobody was like in my DMs, like, "Hey, was that you?"
Damn, like how long were you holding on to that for? Like a couple years, I imagine.
Not that long, not that long, but still a long time. Like
Yeah.
2023 was just me fretting, like, ugh, ugh.
No,
Just
fair
me.
enough.
Yeah,
No, I get that. It's the waiting game is the hardest part.
the waiting game is the hardest point. Especially like the later half of 2023, I had like nothing. I went like 5 months without a single session. It was just like, boy howdy, all my life I don't have nothing else to distract me. I'm just waiting for this.
No, that's fair enough. But to be fair, it's a pretty big thing to not
It
distract you.
definitely is, yeah.
You know,
It definitely is the largest of my career, and that's saying something. I
I think you mean largest of your career so far.
Let's hope.
Hell yeah, I'm rooting for
I
you.
don't know, man. This is like people have asked me like, so what's your dream job? It's like, or your dream role. I'm like, I kind of had it. If I'm gonna be
Not
real
fair.
with you, like, that's kind of it, man.
Hell yeah. Honestly, that's fair enough. Honestly, um, what more could you possibly want? I guess it just depends what you look what else you want to
Hmm.
do. I
At
guess with
this point,
yeah.
I mean, I've always wanted because I have a lot of creator friends. Sorry for the loud engine that just went by. I live on a
Oh no,
major road in America.
you're all good.
Um, uh, I have a lot of like writer friends, writer friends, creators, and whatnot who I've known for many, many years, and some of who have been approached for by Amazon to have
Mm.
like animated series that didn't go through or they're
Ah,
being stalled forever or whatnot. But that's kind of my dream role, honestly, is like for one of my friends to get their thing made and for me to be in it as
oh, that's nice. Yeah.
that's kind of my dream. That's what I want now. Um, yeah, yeah. Like, there's one that I shouldn't say publicly because it's still in like the works as to whether or not it'll get made. It's been in development hell for ages, and
Oh,
maybe it's actually getting made, so I shouldn't say anything.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that's one I've been like, I've been like, you let me know. You let me know, and I will keep an eye out. I will tell my agent, keep an eye out.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I also wanted to ask as well because
hmm
you mentioned way back that
hmm
you came out as trans and then you stopped
hmm
voice acting for a bit. Is that right? Or
I kind of stopped trying to do acting. Yeah, because I was also like, the year before I came out as trans, I was like just so like 2006 was such a deep, like dark freaking year for
oh
me
wait, you came out
that
as
like
trans in 2006?
2007.
2007.
Um,
Oh wow, that's yeah. You know what?
I am a Gandalf.
No, no, I was gonna say like fair enough. Like I remember 2007, like that, like shit. People do not hold back, dude. Like goddamn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was I think the last thing I auditioned for was um I don't know if you remember G4 Tech TV.
Oh,
Um
sounds familiar.
it was like a gamers TV channel.
Mm.
They had open auditions for Attack of the Show, which was like a really like kind of like not cheesy but like kind of like talk show or whatever, news talk show thing. They had open auditions for one of the hosts,
Mm.
and I secretly took a Greyhound out to New York to audition for it, and that was the first audition I totally bombed because apparently I was
Oh,
doing good, but I didn't know I was supposed to keep going, so I just kind of
oh,
like waddled out. But
oh, that's
whatever.
fair.
Um, After that, yeah, I just kind of like, I think also so much of the fact that like it was such a dark time for me because like I ended 2006 like flunking every class and being suspended from college,
Mm.
which was really like what triggered me to like come out because it was like, well, fuck, I can't get any lower, so I might as well see what happens.
Not fair.
Initially coming out to my family, and I think with hindsight of 2024, um, I think a lot of it was during those dark years was when I was pursuing acting, and my brain maybe just subconsciously associated that, acting with trauma. Um, so in addition to like seeing, well, like, all right, I guess I can't do acting because why are they wouldn't cast me, and I have to stay stealth and all that stuff, because I lived in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Um, that I just shoved it aside, and decided to focus on writing instead. But yeah, it was I would say it was probably, let me think. It would have been about 2010, 2011. There was that like It Gets Better campaign that happened that
Yeah.
did a lot for like LGBT awareness, but I don't think it was until around a little after I was like self-publishing those books, been on 2014, 2016, that I
Yeah.
thought, hey, I could probably narrate the audiobooks for it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how I could get my start. And at the same time, I think the very first thing I like really voice acting thing I really auditioned for was another open audition that for Mass Effect Andromeda, they had
Mm.
like open auditions from like across the wherever, and they would fly you to LA or Alberta or wherever they were doing it, um, to record,
Nice.
and I sent in a video audition of that. And then it was, yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm really sorry you had to pretty much hide for like 10 years. That's like, or like close to 10
Yeah,
years. That
it's
sucks.
I'm glad things ended up the way they did. It does sting a little bit to like think of the other folks who started in, 2004,
Yeah.
2005 when I tried to start or had a mind to start, and it's like it's people like Matt Mercer and like other folks who are like, at the top of the fucking game, like Matt Mercer and Troy Baker and
Mm.
those kind of folks. And it does kind of sting a little bit to think, like, damn, I wish I could have started back then, but c'est la vie. All's well that ends well, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
And
And
yeah,
I
as
can
far
do,
yeah,
I was in the right place, the right time, and I'm able
yeah,
to help others, and
that's
the
good.
future is ultimately what's more important.
Exactly. And as far as I'm concerned, you're doing really well. So, you know,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes I wonder myself, uh, but I get the imposter syndrome, and I look at the others who started professionally the same time I started professionally. Sometimes on the very same, we had the same first
mm,
credit,
yeah.
and seeing how much farther they are, if I'm being totally honest, and it does kind of smart a little bit.
No, I can feel
But I
that.
think of how I can look. But I think I try to focus more on, okay, I recognize they have a different path. They probably did have advantages that I didn't. But that can't be helped at this moment. What can be helped is how you're going to use what you've got going forward.
Yeah, because it
Which I think is a
usually
healthy mindset to adopt from the very beginning of your voice acting career.
yeah, because usually the advice you get told in voiceover specifically is like don't compare yourself to others, and like
Yeah,
it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier said than done, to be honest.
it is definitely a lot harder, or a lot harder. No, easier
Yeah,
said than done. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But it is
Because if
kind of
something
true.
goes
It is
wrong,
true.
you want
Yeah,
to know, like, well, why did it go wrong?
yeah,
Is it me? And your brain wants to go, no, it's not you. Clearly, it's them. When it's like, well, it's a lot of stuff. You can't make it
yeah.
that simple.
It's like it's never like it's bigger than black and white. It's never like that easy.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is true though. Because like I came out of like a rut where I kept comparing myself to people a lot, and that made me
Hmm.
really bitter and angry. Um, I'm not that way anymore, but it was yeah. I can definitely
I
tell
mean,
from
it's
like the other
it's
side.
okay to be angry. Like, it's so
Yeah, it's
those
okay.
feelings are
Yeah,
valid. Like, but it's what you do with that anger that's most
exactly.
important. Like, do you channel it into something better? Like, the other day, without going into specifics, I learned some unfortunate casting news, and it just got me into a rut. It just
Mm.
it started eating me away from the inside. So I thought, I gotta go for a walk. I gotta get out of my house, my apartment. Let's be real, no one in LA has a house. My
Ugh.
apartment. And I was like, I'm gonna just go. There's a bike path nearby that has like pedestrian as well. I'm like, I'm gonna go walk. I'm gonna go for a walk,
Mm.
get sunshine, get some vitamin D. It wasn't helping, and I was getting more and more into it. Um, so I was like talking with someone. I called someone up and I was talking with them, and that helped enough for me to realize, okay, I'm emotional right now. I need to I need to. I recognize I'm in an emotional state, but I'm leveled off enough that I can channel this into something positive. And it just so happened I was nearby a studio that I had recorded at before.
Oh, nice.
Um, so I uh, keep in mind, ringing the doorbell of a studio in
Yeah.
any situation is it can go wrong very quickly. I just was like, I rang the doorbell and I was like, because I just wanted to be like, to thank them basically,
Yeah.
and to just so that's what I did, and it turned out I was like, oh cool, thanks. I was like, all right, yeah, take care. I was just walking by, have a good day, and I this was recent enough that I don't know if it actually like helped, quote air quotes helped, but it centered me. And I think the auditions I did that night that were due next morning were way better than it would have been had I just let my anger take over.
Yeah. That's good. That's good
Thank
of
you
you
for coming
for
to my TED Talk.
hell yeah. No, thanks for letting me listen. Nah, it's good of you to angle the frustration to something more positive. For me, I at the time I was mainly just because I was being like really hard on myself, so I put myself down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So like that wasn't good. But like now, when I have like mates that are putting themselves down, I become aggressively positive. So we just hype each
Mm-hmm.
other up until the sadness goes away. I guess.
Oh yeah, it's like the what's the meme with the Simpsons kid who goes, "I'm in danger." It's like the one is like the "I'm in danger" is when I'm beating myself up, and it's like then it's the opposite is when my friends are beating themselves up, and it's him ripping his T-shirt off, and he goes, "You're in danger."
I feel it's like when that meme of like Homer Simpson like just backing away into like the shrub,
The
right?
bushes, and then
Yeah.
they're beating themselves up, and Homer Simpson emerges from the bush.
No, it's like me grabbing him out of the shrubs. It's like
Oh.
I'll find you. But yeah, I do think like nowadays, um, at least compared to like 2007 and 2006, like that sort of era, people are more open and accepting of trans people. Obviously, it can
Hmm.
be better. I can't
Oh, we have
I
so much
yeah
work to do.
I
We
I
still
can't
have
personally
the indie
I can't
sphere. Okay,
I
I need to
personally
say
can't. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I personally can't speak on the trans experience because I'm not trans myself. But
mhm.
you know, I I just feel like all the hate you guys get, and I don't get it. It's like they're not hurting anybody. Just let them live their lives.
People want attention, and the only way they seem to know how to get it is by doing acts of violence,
Mm,
hatred. Possibly because that's all they. I mean, I grew up. again, without going into specifics, I grew up with some pretty awful friends, and I learned a lot of bad habits that took a lot of years for me to break. So like, I don't condone it, but I can very easily see where it comes from.
Mm.
And at the end of the day, a lot of it is attention.
Yeah.
Um, oh, what I was gonna say though is um,
You mentioned like in the indie scene specifically.
yes, I was saying we have a long ways to go with an asterisk next to that because the indie sphere is awesome,
Yeah.
amazing, no comments, does amazing when it comes to trans representation, representation of actors of color, characters of color, whatnot. So you, I don't I wish I could put that asterisk every time I'm bitching on Twitter about something that's like, this is going to leave my target audience. I'm talking about like the Hollywood bullshit
Mm.
that I deal with. That's what I'm talking about. That's where the old guard still needs to like figure some shit out and where we need to make changes.
Yeah.
Indie people, you all are amazing.
Yeah. It's really interesting because like you actually are like directly like in close proximity to like the whole Hollywood stuff because you live in LA. So like
Mm-hmm.
it definitely feels a lot more. I imagine it feels a lot more closer to you when that stuff kind of happens around. I guess.
It does, especially because sometimes it's like people I know or I've known for a while, and it's not just a nameless face on the internet. It's someone I've had coffee with, at a cafe before, and it's like, fuck,
Yeah,
that
that's
one
crazy.
hurts.
But with Akupata games, that's indie,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, we're definitely indie. Uh, Not so much like I know some people think of like Supergiant, like Hades is indie. They were their budgets are substantially higher than ours.
Oh yeah,
We did um we weren't the original publishers of Rain World, but we publish Rain World now. It's another well-known game.
yeah,
Um yeah, I was like, A, I shouldn't say budgets on air, but also B, I don't think
yeah.
I know budgets on air.
No, that's fair.
I'm not the finance person. I just work on voiceover and make funny noises.
That's fair. But like you've worked on both indie and like in studio a bunch of times, so like I imagine like the difference between both indie and in studio more are like night and day almost.
You'd think so, but like for Cryptmaster, we had one of the sessions was in studio. Like
Oh, okay.
the talent wanted to record in studio, and we were like, I would confer. It was like, it's in the budget. It was like, yeah, we can, it's in the budget. I was
Yeah,
like, okay, yeah, sure. And we
nice.
went to a local studio, and I actually for the first time got to sit in the director's chair and press the little button and be like, hold please. You guys
Oh,
have
that's
like
cool.
for 23 A, 24 take B, and so on and so on. But then for other characters, we had them, recording in their closets.
Yeah,
And if you have a good audio engineer and enough post processing in your game, it's just fine.
hell yeah. It can be done. It can be done. It doesn't have to
It
be
can
easy.
be done.
Hell yeah. Do you record more in studio or remote these days?
Me or like me specifically or for Akupara.
I guess both actually. Yeah.
Um, Akupara is almost entirely that was in like remotely. Me, however, I do mostly record in studio.
Nice.
Um, just because I don't have to play engineer, and that's such a
That's
like
true.
a subconscious block every
Yeah.
time. Like, oh, am I peaking? Oh, that's gonna stop me from really, from like that kind of stuff. That's gonna put a mental hold on me that I can't get over. Oh, there was a loud car going by. Ah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
rough.
Audiobooks, and that's mostly video games and I would say anime, but I never fucking book anime. Um, uh,
Not yet.
audiobooks and commercials are still mostly remote though.
Mm.
I don't book commercials because I don't know. I sound too much like a cartoon character, I guess. I can't do that natural conversational stuff. I just sound too animated. But audiobooks are still mostly, almost entirely, even like SAG union audiobooks are still mostly remotely done.
Nice. Also
So if
just
you're a remote voice actor, Um, that is the best like non-indie space I would say to try to break in because
Audiobooks. Yeah.
yeah.
Honestly, yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah.
hmm
I'm just good.
Um, ACX is like Audible's thing. It's good to dip your toes in. It's a lot more work, and you probably won't get paid squat diddly for it.
Oh yeah.
Um, if you can actual like working with like the publishers, the big publishers, it is like night and day. Like
Yeah.
it's still a lot of work, but you're usually not the editor, which
Oh
is
yeah.
helpful.
That's very
And
helpful.
it does
Yeah,
generally pay a lot better.
that's fair enough. When you I wanted to ask, after
Mhm.
publishing the book, did you end up giving a copy to like your friends and family afterwards?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
they didn't know what the hell to do with it. And I was like,
No.
yeah, all
Well, I
right.
mean, they could
It was
read it.
also at the same time I was like, I had just changed my name to Cena, and at the same time they're like, what is this? Okay.
No, fair. That's understandable. I mean, I guess I could read it. How long was the book?
Each there's three in the series, and each one's about 300 pages, I think.
Ooh,
Around 100,000 ish each.
wow, that's a
I
whole
still
ass
it so
PhD.
it's the
Wow.
same it's the same story that I later adapted to an audio drama. The audio
Hmm.
drama I had mentioned, Dreambound.
Yeah.
And if you have to choose the audio drama as the definitive version, I'm just gonna say it.
Oh, so the
It's
other
way
drama's
better.
canon. Hell yeah.
It's way better, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I get a whole bunch of that was really where I cut my teeth on a lot of production aspects. Because I kind of one man armied it, which was too much for me. Except for I got an ensemble cast of voice actors. Um, the main character is voiced by two people, Daisy Guevara and initially Jack Hawkins.
Mm,
Um, and then Jack got busy with university, so
yeah.
I switched it to Brandon Acosta.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, they've actually all three of them have gone on to do crazy stuff. Like
Yeah. All three of them are great.
Daisy's
Hell yeah.
Daisy and Brandon have like anime and stuff. Brandon's in
Yeah.
tons of anime. Jack
Yeah.
is in freaking Amazing Digital Circus.
Yeah. That's right.
Um, yeah, he was Gummy Goo. I was so fucking when I learned that, I was like, I was so happy for him.
Hell yeah.
Um, yeah, so yeah, it's I am so happy to see the places they have gone.
Hell yeah. I think you're a good luck charm, Cena. I think that's what it is.
It's funny because there's another like my first no, not my first, one of my first roles was kind of similar in that it was an audio drama called Kalila Stormfire's Economical Magic Services. And it was kind of the person, the Lisette Alvarez who cast it and directed it, kind of also ended up being a good luck charm because that was like it had me, it had Anjali Kunapaneni, it had AJ Beckles right
Mm,
when we were all starting out. It had Anaides Quinones, who had been doing stuff for a bit, but they were in there, and it was just like, yeah, that was a lot of our. It's really funny how like some of these productions end up being like the Kickstarter for like a lot of people in
yeah.
it.
It's crazy. Like you never know like what's when it blows up or stuff like that. It's crazy.
hmm Well, it's even like the show doesn't have to blow up. It just happens to be like, I don't know what magic I had, man. It just
Yeah. I don't know. I think you're just a lucky good luck charm. I think that's what it is. You gotta accept it. Very clairvoyant person. But I also want to ask on the game dev side as well, because you said
Mhm.
you have experience like making games when you were younger. So like in terms of, like if you were to,
uh,
if more or less,
trying,
um,
trying.
so like if you were to make a game, I guess right now, write it and then code it and everything, like how long would it take for you to like do all that and like
Oh,
organize
years.
that? Years, yeah. I imagine
I
it'll be a
mean,
while. Yeah.
I've been pitching a couple games about one, I pitched a 2-year development cycle, and I was talking with someone recently who knows this stuff, publishes a lot of games, and he was like, "This looks more like a 3.5, 4, more likely."
Fair.
Um, uh, if I were doing all the coding and art, it would take even longer because I'm not a programmer or an artist. I can do them. It takes me a very long time, though I'm not like it by trade. Like, someone who is a 3D, or a pixel artist or a 3D animator by trade can knock out some, a character and a rig and animations in like a week. It would take
Yeah.
me like 2 months. Um, but yeah, there's I've been getting a lot into like pitching a few games. I really want to do something within like I want to just make it like an RPG ass RPG.
Yeah,
Like
you should.
just
Yeah.
a good fucking RPG. Maybe not one that tries to do like um the Tales series. I'm gonna get critical here. The Tales series, I love that series to death. That is probably actually my dream role now. Is I've always wanted to
Nice.
be a playable character in a Tales game. Um, the series has an issue though, game design wise, is that they try to cram in too many systems at once, and it ends up
Interesting.
getting like muddled and like complicated, and you end up just button mashing your way to
Oh,
victory instead, because it's
oh
just
yeah.
like I don't understand what all that is. I'm just gonna press A and do my combos and win the game that way. um I just want to make an RPG with like maybe one system and just build off that, make it
Yeah.
really simple, make it a solid story, good characters, keep the budget low so I don't have to make much money to turn a profit off of that.
Yeah.
um and then just do the same thing with voice acting. Basically, start off, with
Yeah.
something, and not something like not a game jam game that I make in like a month, but like something with some meat on it, and just
Yeah.
slowly build my way up to making bigger things.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see it and play it.
I spent my GDC this year in March, learning a lot of the business side of it. I'm like, I know
Mm.
enough about the creative side. I need to learn the business.
No, it's fair.
So
Like, what's it
yeah.
like pitching games to like uh other people and stuff like that?
Um, you think voice actors have to deal with rejection? Who, buddy?
Oh, yeah,
Because at least with, you know, I mean, there will be a rejection letter, and it feels like, well, fuck, I spent so. It's not like an audition where it's like, I spent like an afternoon working on this audition. All
yeah,
right, cool, whatever, it doesn't matter. With a game, it's like, I've been spending months on this.
yeah,
And suddenly it's getting rejected by everybody, and you're just like, well, what do I do now? Okay, I guess that's that. I guess I try something else then. I
yeah,
guess I'll go back to the drawing board, and it's rough.
yeah. I
It's
can
rough.
imagine.
I mean, there are documents out there. It's thankfully way easier now that the indie uh world is so much more developed than it was like 10 years ago or even
Oh
5
yeah,
years ago.
yeah,
Like there are documents and spreadsheets out there of like extensive lists of publishers, what their range is, what they generally look for, how their contact info, what they you can expect as a response from them or not expect, that kind of thing. So it's a lot of cold emails. They
yeah,
expect it. They're just like, yeah, we everyone's like, yeah, we expect cold emails of just like unsolicited pitches. We'll tell you
yeah,
if we like it or if we don't or whatnot. Um, which takes some getting used to, because I don't know, a lot of us are like, especially like millennials and Gen Z, are just taught to like don't intrude yourself upon others.
yeah,
But it really it's a skill getting that you have to kind of just do, like put
yeah.
yourself out there and be assertive, um which, I mean, hey, it helps with voice acting too, to an
It
extent.
does. Like doing cold emails. Like you never really know. Like sometimes they'll respond,
You never really I know, you
and
never really
and
know.
sometimes they'll secretly put you on the roster. It's weird. It's you never know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
And then it's like a case of like, well, okay, am I on the roster and they just don't have anything, or did they ignore me, or am I on the roster and they're waiting? In my case, are they waiting for like that one trans role to send to me, or that one Hispanic role to send to me, and like, do I say something? Do I not say something? Is it just quiet? I don't know.
Yeah, but it's always like I guess remind them that you exist every 6 months or something like that. It's the
Yeah,
classic kind of stuff.
yeah. I still don't know how to like say that without sounding weird.
Yeah, it's
Like,
weird.
just send it, hi,
It
I'm still here. Okay, it's like it used to be like the third time you're doing that. Hi, I'm still here, and it's like,
yeah.
is this actually doing anything?
I mean, maybe it shows a level of commitment or something. I don't know, but
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
It's
Yeah, I don't
weird.
know, man. It's weird.
It's like, does it show that you're committed or does it show that you're desperate? It's really hard to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Are you committed or are you desperate? Oh, jeez. I wish I had an answer for that.
Yeah, it's
Because
like the meaning.
I am not
It's like the
a
meaning of
master
life.
of the cold email by any stretch of the
Oh,
imagination.
me either.
I know how to do it. It doesn't always work.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a whole thing of like shooting your shot and then we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like the meaning of life. You don't know what it is. No one knows what it is. But yeah. Um, but yeah, what are like some common like misconceptions that people have of like the game developing side?
um, that you just put in the code and you make it work. It's like I don't see like I get this so often where it's like I mean it's so easy. I don't see why they don't just do this. And it's like I'm not a programmer, but what you're talking about requires so much back end programming. Like it's got to be like because back end being the programming you don't see, front end being the programming you do see.
Yeah.
And back end is usually like the foundation, the way the game is structured. And it's like, yeah, you maybe what it may sound simple from what you're looking at, but it would require like months of restructuring and testing and QA and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, it's really not just that simple to just, you know, change the way this system in an MMO works or
Mm.
whatever. Um, I think also there's also a misconception, thankfully not prominent, but I've noticed some, especially with the SAG-AFTRA strike, the interactive strike that just started.
Yeah.
I've heard very little, like, not resentment is the word, not the word I'm looking for. Views from voice actors towards game developers as like all game developers just like they all want AI and they all want this, and it's like no,
Yeah.
even
No.
they're like a lot of game developers is just as scared about AI as you guys are, and um also there's some of us who work both jobs, and
Yeah.
yeah, there are definitely those that do want it. I have had
Ooh.
one guy who thankfully has stopped, but for months and months, I must have gotten 8 emails from this guy who
Oh
works at
no.
some AI voice cloning thing, who I guess saw dialogue coordinator on my LinkedIn and thought, I must love this AI stuff. And it's like,
Oh no.
vet the people you're emailing to.
Yeah.
If you Google searched Sena Bryer, you would not get game developer, you would get voice actor.
Yeah. You gotta do a
You're
background check.
barking up the wrong tree there, buddy.
I do with all the emails who I don't recognize, so it takes me a while just to figure them out and find them. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. Have
oh
you
my,
also gotten the game show the game show scam email?
no, that's like the one I haven't gotten yet.
Ah,
I've got everything else, but not that one. It's like,
not that one, not that
am I
one.
not good enough? Huh? Is that it?
It's a 2 out of 3. It's 2 out of 3. You're good. It's 2 out of 3.
It's fine. I keep getting more like emails where it's like, "Hey, we want to offer you $1 million out of nowhere for the kindness of our hearts." I'm like, "Man,
Yeah, right.
I wish you were truthful about that, but I'm gonna have to ignore that completely."
Yeah, no, you need to tell Gmail that one's a scam.
Yeah, I keep saying that's scam, putting it in spam, but it keeps showing up all the time in my spam folder.
Ugh,
It's like,
they're
it's like,
trick.
check your additions in your spam folder. It's like it's just people offering money, which are never gonna give me.
Yeah, yeah. I thankfully have not had the auditions in the spam folder happen yet. It's
That
just a bunch of
It's happened to me
weird.
once, but like I didn't miss
Oh,
it,
that
thankfully.
sucks.
But I didn't miss it, but like I just checked because like I got a reminder to check. I had like 1 day left, so like thankfully it was right on
Whew.
time. But like, damn, I was so close to missing out on that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Cena, I want my last question to you is
Mm-hmm.
what what keeps you going?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's quite there. I say this one for last.
Oh, how you to hit me with that? How many people have answered caffeine?
Oh, surprisingly none. You're the
None.
first.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep that trend going because it's not that's not my answer. I was just really
Oh, okay.
curious.
Not fair.
As I stall for time for my actual answer. No. Um, honestly, what keeps me going is, and this is gonna sound like such a high school fucking answer, um, sentimental bullshit, but I swear it's true. Is seeing others like me succeed.
Mm,
Because when I first started this, I really wanted to be like what Maddie Blaustein and oh god, I'm blanking on her name. The Seiyu, the Japanese Seiyu who voiced the wolf mother goddess in Princess Mononoke is a
oh,
drag queen, possibly trans, whatever. What they did for me, like I want to be that for
mm,
the next generation, and I'm starting to see it, and that is what helps. That is what brings me through. Like, okay, no, you are on the right track. That is what you wanted from the beginning, Cena. You're making it happen. Keep doing it. Um, yeah, yeah. That
hell
is
yeah,
what keeps me going.
hell yeah. That's a
And
really
I guess on a like a purely personal level, like I mentioned that like voice acting was like a last resort for me. I had tried everything else, and literally just it having worked tells me like, okay, no, 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 this is the thing that works, Cena. Keep doing this. This is the one that works.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. Hell yeah, it's very
Even when
very wholesome answer.
even during the droughts, that's what
Yeah,
keeps me going.
that's good.
And that it's something I love doing.
It's very
It's
very
fun.
wholesome answer. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing
yeah.
that. I feel like you definitely are like spearheading um like trans voice actors in the community. So like, keep it up, honestly.
It's so weird to be there. It's
Yeah, it's
weird.
weird. Yeah, I imagine.
It's really weird because I just like I don't know. I because like I recorded Inuo while I was still working as a drive-through in a Starbucks drive-through, and it's
Yeah,
like I think that's a lot of I think something a lot of uh people know like oh yeah LA's expensive, but like people
yeah.
also think we like voice acting makes all of our income, and it's like
Oh, I wish.
no man, we work at like Starbucks and grocery stores, and we do like your favorite voice actor that you just saw at a convention delivers for Uber. It's like
Yeah,
we you know
yeah. They're everywhere. They're literally
we're yeah
everywhere.
yeah it's what we love doing
Yeah,
and we'll you know keep up, make the sacrifices you have to keep it going because I swear it's worth it in the end.
yeah. We just got to get through this last strike. Hopefully, well, I definitely won't be the last, but we see those protections in place, and I think everything will
Yeah,
be okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much momentum behind this one. It's so good to see. Like the general
Yes,
public
that's good.
is so much on our side.
It's
AI
really
crashing. Apparently, AI is like as we speak crashing and burning, which is like
oh yes, thank God. I'm so
like
happy.
I think it's becoming unsustainable. Like as what I'm reading is like it's just the shareholders are
Yeah.
realizing it costs way too much,
Hmm.
and like all right, sure. I mean, yeah, you guys ignored the environmental and the creative part, and it's just down to money for you guys. But if it kills this thing, honestly, hey, it kills this thing.
Yeah, let's do the thing that's been working for like
Yeah,
little decades and not,
yeah.
you know,
Because I have had AI voice videos with AI voice my
oh
voice
no.
used AI before, and um yeah, it was really it wasn't like one where it was like making fun of I mean kind of making fun of my performance, but like hey, I let the AAA video game company know,
Yeah.
and I linked them to it, so
It's
we'll see what happens.
because I keep saying AI like on TikTok and stuff like that. And like if I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah,
Like I remember
I
when
feel weird using the text to speech sometime, not gonna lie.
yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
know like the
exactly.
TikTok lady like was screwed out of her money, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think so. Something like
Like the
that.
TikTok lady, the one who talks like this,
Yeah.
apparently doesn't make a goddamn thing out of it or whatever.
That's so shit. I didn't that really sucks. Like because everyone
Yeah,
uses it. Like pretty
I've
much everybody uses it.
I have had a the only time I have ever like seriously considered an AI text to speech thing, it was going to pay 100,000 a year.
Whew. You you know what?
Uh,
It was Steve.
that's where
Damn.
it's like, you know what? You know what? I mean,
Almost tempting. It's almost tempting.
a hundred. It's like shit.
And this
That's
economy as well? Damn.
I'm like, does that's what it should be paying? That and like if you're basically going to basically put me out of a job, you better I better be able to live off this.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's like
understandable.
that's what it should be paying.
Yeah,
Um, that was 3 years ago, though. I don't think anybody's doing that
yeah.
anymore.
Well, but I'm glad it's crashing and burning. I remember when AI was
I
like
am, honestly.
was like starting to blow up a little bit. It was like 2020, like when the lockdown was happening. It was like UberDuck AI at the time. I think they're gone now, but like that's when like
Yeah,
people were starting being like,
they're like, because I remember playing around with them too, like for stuff like making the DK rap voice try to say stuff and it stuttered
yeah,
forever and it was like, haha, this is really funny.
yeah,
But then like 11 AI came out and that was the one where it was like, oh, this
yeah.
is scary.
Like then it started getting better. It was like, oh
It
no,
got really better. Like it would put emotions where you wanted it to without you telling it to. And I'm like, okay, this needs to stop.
yeah.
This needs to stop.
Okay, it's not funny anymore, guys. Please
It's not
stop.
funny anymore. No, no, it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, I I haven't had the experience of people cloning my voice. Hopefully, never. But like the only time I'll accept it is for a meme, and it's like it's just it's it sound this is gonna sound really stupid, but you know, like I put a new 4Gs on the Jeep. It's like I see a lot of AI of that going around. So if I get to be put
Jeez.
if I get to be put on that, you know, that's the only time I'll accept it. But like everything else, hell no, stay get the fuck away from me. But
Yeah, I've seen a Twitch streamer who made an AI clone of her own voice and then uses that as her voice
interesting.
for her VTuber.
Interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it? Like I'm almost like, yeah, yeah, there's interest. It's a shame because there's so much interesting stuff that could be done with AI, but no, we're using it to kill people's jobs.
Yeah, I
Like,
because
really?
there is definitely good that AI can do. We just don't know what
There's
it
so
is
much
yet.
like the joke is like, so you're cleaning the oceans with it, right?
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know about that. We're kind of taking people's jobs, and then we're gonna get those guys to clean the ocean.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, but Sena, thank you so. This interview comes to a close. Thank you so much again for coming on
Thank you for
and for your
having
time.
me. I love chatting with folks. I love it.
Hell yeah! Like I think the last time we saw each other was during a class. I don't think we spoke at
I
all.
think it was a class. Yeah, I was wondering myself. I was like, I know we've talked in person. Where was it? Was it probably was a class? Was a workshop or something?
Yeah, it was with Kirsty Gilmore. It was that one.
Oh, okay. That wasn't too far. That wasn't too far ago.
Yeah,
Long ago.
I was too intimidated to
There
talk to
must have been
anybody.
one earlier, but there. Okay, we've known it. We've been Twitter mutuals for much longer than before that. There
Yeah,
must have been one a long time ago before that.
maybe I don't know. I think I definitely got casting call sent by you a while ago. So maybe then I don't know, something like that.
I
I
don't
think
know.
it was definitely on the Twitter threads. That's when we started speaking a bit.
Yeah, yeah,
Hell yeah! But Sina, thank you again for coming on. Do you have
yeah.
where can people find you on social media and stuff?
Oh yeah, so I'm most active on Twitter. I won't call it you know what. I'll stop dead naming that site when Elon stops dead naming his daughter. Um
Well, yeah, fair enough.
yeah. um I'm most active on there. Just my name, Sena Bryer, SenaBryer. Although I don't know if that's going to continue because apparently they're talking about taking away likes, retweets, likes and retweets on replies,
What?
which is yeah. I'm like, okay, you know
Damn,
what? I might just.
you can't even ratio people anymore. That's
I
terrible.
know exactly. That's like it's totally Elon getting mad at him getting ratioed, but
Damn.
I'm also on Bluesky. The my handle is just my website, senabryer.com.
Mm.
And I'm also on Twitch. I stream try to stream twice a week. Sorry for the loud helicopter. That's LA for you, baby.
The
Stream
helicopter
on
in the
Twitch
city?
on
That's crazy.
oh, they're really low flying. It's really weird in LA. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, I stream on Twitch at Squid Sena, Squid Sena. I stream Final Fantasy 11 regularly. I have been streaming Final Fantasy 14. I'm waiting to see if I'm allowed to with the strike. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah, that's fair.
So I'm just waiting to see. But I'm not on anything Meta owns. That's my hard line in the sand. So sorry, I'm not
Good.
on Facebook or Insta or Tinder.
Wait, Tinder's owned by Meta? I didn't know that.
Done by Meta. Yeah.
Interesting. That's why everybody uses
Um,
Hinge nowadays. That makes sense now.
I'm so out of the dating game. I don't know what anybody uses anymore.
I'm
I don't
still
even know, man. I'm
I'm still
old.
navigating it. I don't even know myself. I need to. I'm still
But
figuring
yeah,
that out.
Twitter, Twitch, Blue Sky. And I mentioned it a bunch of times, so if you want to listen to my audio drama Dreambound. It's on all major pod catching platforms. Is that still what we call them? I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. And check out Hello Cruel World. It just came out if you have a VR
Yes.
headset.
Play
If not,
it.
go play Cryptmaster.
Yes. But yeah, thank you again, Sena, for coming on. You've been absolutely amazing. I will,
Uh,
I will,
Thanks for having me.
no worries. I will see you at the SummerSlam when John Cena comes back for his final title because I hear he's retiring. Doo-doo-doo. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next interview. Bye, everybody.
Later.